going on YouTube? I was just gonna do this little video, and it's just gonna be just talking about. I read a lot of stuff on like the groups and everything about when guys make comments, like they'll ask people, you know, you get a new truck and you go to some of the forums on Facebook, which I'm not a huge fan of anyways, because a lot of guys get talked into a lot of things that they don't need right off the bat. And sometimes, in my opinion, that can leave kind of a sour taste in your mouth when it comes to the hobby. And it's like that no matter, you know, what part of the hobby that you're in, you're going to have that problem. It was always, the fifth scale guys stuff was always the Rovin, and don't buy the Rovin, you had to have the HPI. Well, HPI left all the fifth scale guys out in the cold and basically quit even making the fifth scale stuff and even parts. So, you know, lo and behold, it's a good thing people supported Rovin, because Rovin carried that side of the hobby for the stuff for years. But that's neither nor here nor there. So it's just stuff like that that gets under my skin when it comes to the hobby. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about, in general, the Rc4wd drive trucks. You know, I don't normally do videos like this because they don't get very many views. But, and obviously, you're just getting my opinion. But I do have quite a bit of experience with these trucks. You can go back and watch the videos. And I don't video everything. Every time I go out and run, there is, you know, times I go out and run these trucks and I don't video it. More times than not, now, I usually end up videoing because I've limited time. So, just bear with me here. If you're interested in the Rc4wd drive trucks, we're kind of going to go through this as you bought one and you've taken it out of the box and you want to know what your first step is because you're not impressed with the suspension on the truck. Because we'll just start there, because you're not going to be impressed with the suspension on the truck taking it out of your box upon receiving it. It's not going to be super impressive. The suspension's very stiff on all these Rc4wd drive trucks. They're not made for, you know, super crazy articulation. On all these guys flex, proper term, articulation. You can take a real one-to-one leaf truck out there, and you're not going to take, let's say, a stock Hilux Toyota with leaf suspension and go out there and, you know, have coilover and link suspension like in the real world. They're not like that. It's a leaf. It's old technology. If you're looking for that, just right off the bat, you know, do yourself a favor and just buy yourself an SCX10 or something of that nature. I'm sorry, but yes, there's all kinds of stuff, and we'll get into that in this video, so this video might get kind of long. There's a lot of different ways that you can achieve your, you know, flex and articulation and everything. I've done these videos before. I'm just doing this to kind of give people, you know, a refresher, because I have picked up a lot of subscribers, and it seems like subscribers don't go back and watch older videos, which is beyond me. I don't understand. But anyways, we're going to use the Marlin here as an example. You know, it's not stock by far. I've already modified this suspension, but you've got your, let's say you've got your Rc4wd drive, and they're pretty much all the same across the board, okay? And I've got some broken axles here I'm going to use as a reference. That's the reason why I had them there. So, you've got your Marlin or your TF2, basically same platform. There's very little differences in it. The Marlin does come with the XVDs in the front of it. So right there's a really good upgrade that you're going to want to have them. Sorry, we'll just go ahead and get into that. That's the broken dog bones here that you guys can see. This is a stock Trail Finder to dog bone style axle. The Marlin comes with the XVDs in it. Same thing as a CVD. They call it an XVD. All your K44 axles from Rc4wd drive are going to come with the XVD style axle. That's why I think guys always say, oh, upgrade to the K44s. Well, there's not really a huge difference, guys, between the K44s and the Yoda 2s. You're basically going to be going with a Yoda 2 with XVDs. It's not usually a huge difference. The housing may be a little more beefy in the K44s. I have both. I have 3 sets of K44s. Both my rust buckets and this other truck has K44 axles in it. I've had no trouble with any of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The dually has Yoda 1s on it even. I don't know how these guys are taking them out and running them through flat ground on the grass and saying they're breaking them. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe there is some of the trucks that they say they need shimmed and all this stuff. I don't know. Let me check my camera time here real quick. Okay, so sorry guys, I had to stop the recording. So anyways, let's get back into, you've taken your Rc4wd drive truck out of the box and you're not happy with the articulation. I will say right off the bat, the Marlin comes with 80mm shocks up front and 80mm shocks in the back. So the Marlin doesn't have, and this truck's not even completely broken in yet, and you can see it is very capable in the videos. I've just scaled it up compared to an out-of-the-box Marlin, changing the wheels and tires and everything. So you're not going to have as much travel here in the back with the Marlin with the 80 mils, because I believe the Trailfinder 2 comes with a 90mm shock, I'm pretty sure, in the back of them. So I think you do get a little more articulation in the back with the regular Trailfinder 2 truck. So you know, 10 more millimeter length of a shock, you're going to get a travel. But, she's sitting down still. I mean, that's not bad. It's a scale truck. It's not a, it's not a link truck, guys. These are scale trucks. Now, you can go through, I have A&M stuff laying over here on my table. You can go through an A&M, forward shackle conversion on the front. A lot of guys recommend that. I prefer the Rc4wd drive shackle reversal kit. They're both fine. You're not going to go wrong with either one of them. Right off the bat, if you're looking to upgrade stuff, and I'm just saying, if you're looking to just blow money, in my opinion, you're best to take the truck out of the box and remove your inner shock springs, all 4. The shocks just unscrew. It literally takes 10 minutes. You don't even got to take the shocks off the truck. You can take one screw out of your shock mount on the top, unscrew your shock top, pull your spring out, and throw it off to the side. You're not going to need it for at least a good while. Now, once your leaves start breaking in, if you don't break a leaf, you're going to want to probably maybe eventually put the springs back in. So just don't throw them away. Put them in a Ziploc baggie, put them somewhere and store them. Number 2, you'll have a spring pack like a real pickup truck. So you have your leaf spring pack here, and you'll have your main leaf, a medium leaf, and a small leaf, okay? I recommend removing the small leaf and taking it off, you don't need it, and running your main leaf and your medium leaf. Depending on what your scale setup is, you're going to have, if you add weight to the back, you add weight to the truck anywhere, you're going to have to work with it a little bit to get everything set how you want this truck set. You may end up have to put a leaf in. Depending on how much weight you add, you may end up putting your shock spring back in. It just depends. They're all different. If you're just running the truck out of the box and you just want better performance, definitely pull your inner shock springs out. Definitely remove your small leaf. Or if you really want to, live dangerously, I would highly recommend getting an anti-wrap bar first of some kind. Whether it be Rc4wd drive or A&M, whatever. Guys love A&M. I really like the Rc4wd drive anti-wrap bar. I think they're really scale. That's just me. That's, once again, a personal preference. So, anyhow, I would highly recommend, once you pull your inner springs out of your shocks, if you have an anti-wrap bar, you can get away with running the small leaves. The front don't wrap up as bad as what your rear is going to, because the rear is getting all of the tension put on it, the torque. It's the same way with the 1-to-1 rig with leaf springs. You'll get axle wrap. The old Fords were really bad about it, like the old High Boys, the 70s Ford pickup trucks. They had axle wrap really bad. If you like, you had bigger tires, you dump the clutch on the road. You know, a lot of guys that break center bolts in your leaf springs because you got a bolt goes through. These things just equate down into a 1/10 scale. That's just how it is because it's a 1/10 scale leaf truck. So let me think. Right off the bat here, trying to think of anything else here, guys. That's gonna get you, you know, a better suspension, travel, flex. Everybody has flex. They love flex. That's going to get you better suspension movement right off the bat, just taking it out and running it. If you want to go a little further, and it'll also lower the truck down a little bit, you got to go really easy. You can't He-Man, Superman it. Take your main leaves off your truck and manually manipulate them. You can take that spring tension, because that's what these are. There's spring tension in these leaves. You can take that spring tension out of those leaves, manually working them, and it'll kind of flatten them out a little bit, and it'll soften it up a bunch. Even just straight out the box stock leaves without changing them, because they make the red super softs. They make the black super softs. Some guys say the black super softs aren't as soft as the red. So I don't. I've ran everything. In my opinion, you're just better to stay with your stock leaf springs. You do have to break these in. I've seen guys make stupid comments about they don't break in. Yes, they do. I have trucks that I have run that have a lot of trail time, like my TF3 that are hard trail times, my Rc4wd. They do get softer over time because the spring tension leaves the metal. Anybody with any common sense can tell you that if you got something with spring tension in it, it'll lose spring tension over time. That's just a common sense given. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be an ass or anything, but I read some of these comments, you know, and it just blows me away at some of the stuff that are said on some of these Facebook groups. So if you're still here watching the video, moving on to the next, there's all kinds of companies out there, guys. Twisted Fab Company, if you want to blow, you know, stupid money on, you know, custom leaves. There's all kinds out there. Nothing wrong with their stuff. You can get away with trimming some fenders, running bigger tires if that's what you want. You know, these are almost a 4-inch tall tire. I think the stocks that come on the Marlin are like a 3.95. These are just a tick bit bigger, so I get a little rub. I don't care. This is the equivalent of a 15-inch rim and a 42-inch tire on a Toyota, and scale-wise, in my opinion. So you're going to get probably a little bit of fender well rub with a 42-inch tire on a lifted old Hilux. That's just how it is. Trying to think. Anything else, guys? That's pretty much it. Like I said, there's tons of stuff out there. Just research. I'd highly recommend just taking the truck out of the box. You're going to want to Loctite everything right off the bat once you get your suspension figured out and go out and just run the truck. It will break in. Always Loctite your screws on your knuckles. That's one main thing as well. You know, if you really want to break down into it and get into it, check your grease. You know, I've not had any, none of mine have came out, because I marine grease my stuff. I've even left the Lucas Red and Tacky and went back to marine grease because I've been running in the water. I'm going to check my phone here and see where we're at on recording time. Okay, we're good. We got a few minutes left. So, I just don't want to get a stupid long video and people not watch it because I know, you know, it's like their attention or whatever. I'm just trying to help you guys out if you actually watch the video, you know, to give you tips and tricks on these trucks right out of the box. You know, by far, it's not going to perform like an SCX-10. You know, it's just not. But they will perform set up correctly, guys. Weight down low on no matter what crawler. That's why I'm running the Trills on this one, because they're a heavy wheel. You want unsprung weight, obviously, but with these, you know, they don't really make brass stuff for the Yoda axles or the K44s, I don't think. They make, you know, there's no, like, beef tubes and stuff like that. Once again, it's a scale truck, not a rock basher. Can these go out and run on the rocks? Yeah, I've got videos on the rocks with these trucks. You guys can watch them if you actually take the time to watch the videos. They're there. Not super stupid hardcore stuff, but there's other people out there that have these trucks that are still running Yoda axles that are going on the rocks with them. You just got to drive them like you would a real pickup truck and just not rip and tear. If you took a real Toyota pickup truck out there and drove over boulders like you were on, a coked out meth head, it's going to break the Yoda axles too. My Jeeps ain't any different. They have the Dana axles underneath them. If you rip on them and you beat them like you're high on coke, you're going to break something. That's just common sense. It doesn't matter. If you're hard on anything, they break. I think that pretty much sums it up to give you guys a good, just wanted to put that out there if anybody actually takes the time out to watch the video. I see what we're at on time. Okay, I restarted it one more time. So you're going to have to run into this and do this stuff with any of these leaf trucks. On Rc4wd drive, Boom Racing, they have leafs and stuff. I don't know anything about their stuff because I don't have the Boom stuff. I know their stuff's beautiful quality, because I have a friend that messes with the Boom stuff. But I see people, it's like my buddy that originally was getting into these trucks, he watched a lot of these YouTube videos, and he was all worried about the problems with people saying the axles. I'd like to get him on here and let him tell you his experience because he's got a lot of runtime on a couple of his trucks now. He's had no problems whatsoever with axle stuff breaking, and he's still running dog bones in his midnight truck. He might comment watching this video. I don't know. You know who you are. He goes out with me all the time. I have broken the dog bone axles. Partially because some of Rc4wd drive's bearings are kind of crappy. They're not super heavy grade, heavy duty, but wheel bearings in any of their axles. I have upgraded to the shielded rubber shielded bearings, and heavier duty bearings now from Jim's Bearings in most of my trucks, especially in the front axles, because that's a huge downfall of them. But you guys can watch my videos. I do take these trucks out and run it. I joke around. They've been, people call them dollhouse trucks, whatever. Well, my dollhouse trucks have actually survived pretty well. It is what it is. I'm just putting this video out for, if you're a newbie, this is some good tips and tricks for you guys before you run to the Facebook groups. I'd recommend going to YouTube and researching before you run the Facebook, because the guys are going to have you blowing $200 or $300 and stripping axles out from underneath your Rc4wd drive truck when you might not even need to. Run the thing. Driver mod. Number one mod. Driver mod. Go out and drive it. Learn the truck. If you break something, then you know. I know it sucks to take something new out and break it right out of the box, but 10 to 1, you're probably not going to. 95% chance, as long as you go through and Loctite all this thing, you're probably going to be fine. Taking it out of the box and taking it out and run it, no. At least we'll take the time to Loctite everything. It don't matter it's Rc4wd drive. If it's metal to metal, it can be Cross, it can be Traxxas, it can be Red Cat. If you have metal to metal in anything, and it's going to see use on the trail and abuse, it's common sense. Metal to metal needs Loctite. Blue Loctite is what I'd highly recommend. Purple Loctite on like your scale hardware. But anyways, guys, I just wanted to get this video put up. After reading a lot of comments and stuff I see, especially certain Facebook groups when it comes to Rc4wd drive stuff, it blows my mind. Why even buy these Rc4wd drive trucks if you hate them that much, and why be on the forums? It blows me away. I just hate to see, it is a decent brand truck, guys. And I've owned SCX10s. Their plastic, I'm sorry, is like bubble gum, especially after you run it for a while. There's all the brands all have their downfalls. It doesn't matter. You're going to break no matter what brand they are. So I just wanted to put that out there and make this little video for you guys. Hope everybody has a good Friday. I'm hoping to get this video edited and put up before I leave to go to work. As always, from the RC Dungeon, peace.